Thank you for joining us. My name is Judy Peterson, and I will be guiding you through our online CAP system. Today, we will create and issue a commitment. First, we log into the system using the resource desk. I'm logged in as Mary Ann Test, the staff person working under Attorney Jane Test. When logging in, I click on Search for or Issue a Commitment or Certificate. The transaction listing screen provides a number of ways to search for an existing transaction. Today we will create a new transaction. The CAP program is transaction-based. To create the transaction, answer the questions, and fill in the necessary information. First, we verify that Attorney Jane Test will be the participant who will sign this commitment. We are creating a residential purchase transaction. As you can see, you'll be directed to the Iowa Title Guarantee Commercial Department for the issuance of commercial and wetlands commitments and certificates. We will rely on information which has been provided by the lender and also found on the preliminary title opinion. First, we'll select commitment with lender first mortgage coverage and enter the mortgage amount as provided by the lender. We will add a closing protection letter. We won't need coverage for a junior mortgage, but we will add owner coverage. The proposed purchase price is entered as the coverage amount. The names of the borrowers or buyers are entered, one in each field. And any other buyers in the second field. The names of the current title holders are entered in the title holders field. Today, our example will show how to create a commitment when the seller is a company. After clicking on Create Transaction, you'll land on the Transaction Details screen. The transaction has been assigned a unique 9-digit number with the first 2 digits the year the transaction was created. Across the top of this screen is a banner which provides details of the transaction, including a field where you can enter a file number to assist you in managing your office's files. In the system, any fields designated with a red asterisk are required fields. On the left side of the screen, you'll see a list of the transaction screens which must be completed in order for this commitment to be issued. Each is designated with a red X. When a screen has been completed, the X will change to a green check mark. We'll begin by completing the property screen. Enter the house number in the first field, then the rest of the street address in the next field. The unit number or condo number is entered in the secondary number field if that is part of the address. Type and then select the city from the drop-down list. Add the zip code. The county is selected from the list here on the left. Enter the entire legal description as found on the abstract or your title opinion. If your legal description describes a specific number of acres, click on this blue text to add the number of acres disclaimer to the end of the legal description. The Save Changes button appears at the bottom and at the top of each of these screens. Clicking on either of those buttons will save your work. If a field is not completed, let's remove the zip code. The message will let you know that more work is necessary and the screen does not change to green. You're then provided, click on What's Incomplete to see what you need to do, and you're then provided with a list of every field that still needs to be completed, including the screens that we haven't touched yet. Once all fields have been completed and you save changes, the message lets you know that now you can move on. This screen is marked with green. Next, we'll work on the general information screen. Verify the type of transaction. We're working on a purchase, but this can be changed if necessary. The total premium due may change as the screens are completed. Enter the certification date and time. Select the abstractor from the list, which includes all abstractors who are eligible to provide abstracting services in the county of your property. Users who are not logged in as an attorney or an attorney's staff will type and then select the title opinion attorney from the drop-down list. The names of the borrowers, buyers, and the title holder have pulled in, and you'll select whether each is an individual or a legal entity. For real persons, select individual. If not a person, select legal entity. If the current title holder is a legal entity, you will also select the entity type. In our example, the company is a corporation. These designations help to pre-fill the commitment Schedule B. Next, select the tenancy of the current title holders. By clicking as joint tenants with full rights of survivorship and not as tenants in common, or as tenants in common, those phrases will be added after the names of the title holders on Schedule A. If you're unsure of the tenancy of multiple title holders, click on Unknown, and this disclaimer will follow their names on the Schedule A. For only one title holder, whether it be a person or a company, as in our example, click on Other. You can also use the Other option and type the tenancy if it doesn't fit one of those listed options. The composite mortgage affidavit will print with each commitment. Select the appropriate version. Select primary residence if you know that the buyers will be using this property as their primary residence. Select all purpose for all other situations, or if you're not sure. You can then copy the names of the title holders into the CMA title holders field. If two current title holders' names are imported here, move the name of the second title holder into the CMA Title Holder 2 field, so one name appears in each field. The Mail To section and Contact Information section is optional. If you want a mailing sheet to print with the commitment, click the box and complete the field. Then click on Save Changes. Once all of the fields have been completed, the general information screen will be designated with a green check mark, and we can move on to the Lender First coverage screen. Type the loan number if you know it. The coverage amount has pulled in from the prior screen. The type of sale defaults to fee simple, but other options are available. Select the lender using the drop-down menu. The system saves a short list of the lenders that you've used. If the lender you need is not on the short list, click on View All and type the name you need. Then select the correct location of that lender. The field Name of Proposed Guarantee to appear on Schedule A displays how the lender's name will appear. This field can be edited if the lender wants their name to be tweaked. For example, that the street address or the zip code be added. In most cases, no edits will be needed. We pre-selected a closing protection letter. If we didn't do that already, this is where you would add it. And you select the CPL lender in the same manner as we did above. The closing protection letter will print as a separate document, not as part of the issued commitment. You can print a draft version of the CPL from this screen. And to do that, just click on Preview CPL. Click on Save Changes. Once all fields have been completed, the Lender First coverage screen will be marked as green, and we can move on to the Lender Endorsement screen. The endorsements available for this coverage are listed, with the most commonly requested first in bold type, then the rest in alphabetical order. The flag icon indicates that the endorsement will need underwriter approval. Clicking on the question mark will bring up a brief overview of the endorsement, any underwriting requirements, and the text of the endorsement. Select the endorsements you need. And then Save Changes, which moves them into the Selected section. Endorsements which do not require any edits appear with a green check mark. If edits are needed, click on Edit and fill in the necessary information. If you selected an endorsement by mistake, click on the trash can and remove it. And once the endorsements have been saved, this screen will be designated with a green check mark, and we can move on to the owner coverage screen. On the owner coverage screen, enter the loan number if you know it. Click the box Check for free owner's coverage if appropriate, which will change the premium due from $25 to $0 once you save changes. Once all fields have been completed, the owner coverage screen will be designated with a green check mark, and we can move on to the owner endorsement screen. Select the endorsements as you did for Lender First coverage. We won't need any owner endorsements in this example. Save Changes, and then move on to Schedule B. Schedule B, Part 1, contains requirements, and Part 2 contains exceptions. Schedule B has pre-filled based on information already entered. The additional Schedule B options are available if you need help with the wording of a requirement or exception, and these have been sorted as to the section in which they would appear. Text which appears within a box can be edited. Some of the paragraphs can be removed with a trash can. The order in which the paragraphs appear can be moved up or down using the arrows available. Additional editable paragraphs can be opened by clicking on the plus sign at the beginning of each of these sections. For detailed instructions on completion of Schedule B, please see the webinar titled Commitment Schedule B. Once the Schedule B has been completed, save changes. And now all of our screens are marked as green, and the commitment is ready to be reviewed and issued. Go to the Commitment Overview screen, which contains details of the transaction. The status is pending, and the available actions are listed across the top of this screen. Issue, cancel if the deal falls through, preview. Remember that the commitment, transaction quote, and CPL are previewed and printed separately. If you have a question for our underwriters, you can ask it by clicking on Send to Underwriting, when you'll be asked to add a note explaining what you need. If you have a non-legal question, such as how do I word this exception, or if you want our staff to review the commitment before it's issued, you can send to audit. Again, you'll be asked to add a note explaining what you need. If you need to add a coverage to the commitment, you can do that now, which will add the screens necessary for that coverage. Schedule B also opens up again, forcing you to review it before the commitment can be issued. If the coverage was added by mistake and will not be needed, you can remove it from that screen. Review and save Schedule B and the coverage screens. And then issue the commitment. Once issued, the commitment, transaction quote, and CPL will print without the draft watermark and are ready to be forwarded to the lender. In the navigation bar, click on Archives and Snapshots. This screen is divided into active and archived snapshots. Each time a commitment is reissued, the system will move the previous version into the archive section. The most current version of each file will appear in the active section. To review the document, click on the name. To print an issued commitment, CPL, or transaction quote, select the box next to each document to be printed and click on Download Selected. Each document then will download to a zip file, and the zip file can be saved and printed or emailed. Changes can be made to the issued commitment by clicking on Amend, which puts the commitment back into pending status. Changes can be made to any of the fields. The system automatically updates the Schedule B, but Schedule B must be reviewed before the commitment can be issued again.